Hey, what is up? What is going on, guys? Joe here, Radio 690 ADV, 690ADV.com. What's happening? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Don't forget, subscribe, be part of our podcast and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/690ADV. Remember, we have over 150 plus videos, from reviews to just talking about motorcycles to information about motorcycles. And we also have our 2-minute tips that are just little things to try to keep your mind on track of some of the things that you need to maybe think of. I don't just put them out there. I try to live by them too. That's one of those things. But anyway, on to the podcast. Ride a motorcycle in hot weather. What are some of the things you need to pay attention to? As we come into summer, hot weather and motorcycles, a lot of guys will ride, but other guys, it changes their whole mindset of getting out and riding. And if you're out in it and you are riding and you are in hot weather, these are some of the things that, you may want to think of. Or if you're going to go into an area that is going to be hot, you might want to keep on your list of things to keep on your mind to remember to do. If you're new to this, if you've done it, then, this probably is not going to help you a whole lot. But if you're new to dual sporting or enduro riding, or if you're going to the desert or even into elevation and stuff like that, riding a motorcycle is totally different than riding in a car. Because you're outside. But that one thing that changes everything is you're constantly in motion when you're on your bike and you're doing miles, and you have constant air blowing up and over your body. So that, in one way, can change a lot of things when you're riding. The one thing that is just major crucial, we talk about it all the time when we're riding around and stuff, and when we make our stops at, gas stations or little convenience stores or whatever. Hydration. Cannot stress hydration. Hydration is a huge factor when you're dual sporting, because a lot of times when you're dual sporting, you do go into the desert climates, or you are riding in warm weather or hot weather. And with you riding the motorcycle, when it's hot, what's the one thing that you don't want on your body? A riding jacket. So if you're traveling and you don't want to wear your riding jacket, you really should have some type of armor on. I'm guilty, just like many others. There's other people that'll just sit there, you have the know-it-alls that are out there. I always wear a jacket. I don't care if it's 140. I'm going to call liar on that one. I know you've ridden without that jacket before in the heat. It happens. It's just one of those things. But I do wear my jacket most of the time. I'd like to say at least 85% of the time when I'm on my motorcycle trips. The times that I don't wear it is usually when I'm at camp and I get done and I just want to do a little quick trail ride. I'm not an MX racer. I'm not trying to jump stuff. So I'm just sightseeing. Now, can accidents happen? Of course they can. I'm willing to take that risk sometimes. But that's on me. But I also take a lot of precautions to prepare and be smart about it as best I can. But I'm hot. But that's where hydration comes in. So here's the kicker with hydration, and a lot of people do miss this. You'll see a lot of enduro riders, they are wearing backpacks. A lot of those backpacks have hydration packs in them too, like camelbacks and stuff like that, with the big snorkel that comes out that you can pull water from and you can hydrate yourself. It's kind of key. Keeping yourself hydrated while riding is a huge deal. So, why do you want to stay hydrated? Well, because here's the kicker. When you are dehydrated, it does many things to your body. It starts in your head. You can get headaches. And then from those headaches, you can start getting to where you are not as aware of your surroundings and stuff that's going on. Your actions will get slower. Fatigue, cramping, loss of energy, just not wanting to really do anything. And make no mistake, if you are just new and getting into dual sporting and you do get dehydrated on that bike, working a motorcycle off-road is work, believe it or not. Even on the road, it's work, because you're constantly having forces that you have to help keep that bike in motion, upright. Now, granted, physics actually keeps the bike under momentum, but you still have to pull that throttle. You still have to. That's why your shoulders get sore and stuff like that from riding. But hydration is a really, really big part of motorcycle riding, especially when it's hot. So in the summertime or when it's hot out, you definitely want to make sure that you keep your body nice and hydrated so that it will help with your riding. And it will cut down on your fatigue and all that stuff. So you definitely want to make sure that you have plenty of water in your system whenever you're riding when it's hot, because you don't want to wear that jacket. If you don't want to wear your big jacket, guess what? Some of them have zip outs that you can zip out your inner liners that will help. They have zippers on the arms, the back, sometimes on the shoulders, up underneath the armpits, all that stuff that will allow ventilation to push air through. I just suggest that if you're on the highway, interstate riding, if you're on a desolate road, take it with your own risk. That's up to you. Get a summer jacket. Take 2 jackets with you. Just some kind of armor, especially like your elbows and stuff like that. You should always wear gloves when you're traveling. And, and back armor is good too. Because if something ever happens and you have to lay that bike down, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Guaranteed you're going to get scuffed up. You're going to get road rash. It's not going to be pleasant. It's going to suck. It's just not going to be a whole lot of fun. But then the second part is you get seriously hurt. You slide up off the road. You get a stick that punctures into your body, rock. All that stuff. So, you just definitely want to make sure that, you're wearing something. So in hot weather, the 2 main things for me that gets taken for granted is wearing a jacket and staying hydrated. So those 2 things there are really a big deal. Whenever we're riding and we're out in the desert or in the high desert or even in low altitude but in the mountains, we definitely try to stay hydrated, because hydration will do so much for you, especially if you're going out and you're in the mountains. If you hydrate 2 to 3 days before, and when I mean hydrate, I mean actually drink a lot of water before you get there, it makes your altitude adjustment so much easier and so much better, because you can get altitude sickness. And because a lot of times, because the air thins out, everybody knows that, but most people don't realize all that water in your body, it actually captures oxygen, so it helps your body adjust a little bit. So actually it helps it adjust quite well. So that's a big kicker, and a lot of people don't remember that before they go on their trips, is to hydrate 3 to 5 days before they go. And I tell you what, it will make a huge difference in your trip and whenever you're doing it, because once you're dehydrated, you can't get hydrated. It's just going to take a while, and catch up is never ever fun, and it takes forever, and it's not much fun because the headaches that come along with it and all the other stuff, it just absolutely sucks. But what we always tell ourselves when we're in the desert, it's funny, we have a video. I'll probably put it up one of these days, but it's my buddy Billy J, and I happened to just capture him on my camera, my GoPro, and we're pulled over, and we are in Arizona, and he walks over to the camera and says, "Hydrate or die," and that's it, man. Hydrate or die. And so that's what we do. We're always pounding water when we're over there. And sometimes even drinking water, sometimes it's still not enough, because when you're riding, it's sucking that moisture off your body when you're sweating, which most people don't realize that's actually happening. And you move more fluids because you are sweating in that jacket or even your t-shirt. But the wind is just taking it and drying it so fast that your body can't catch up. So we will stop, pound, a bunch of water. But what we'll do, and this is just a little heads up, and it doesn't taste great, but it does work, and it's helped us on, I can't count how many times we'll find like a little convenience store or a Dollar General or something like that, or a small grocery store if we pull into a town. And what we'll do, and I know some people are going to go, what? I'm telling you, it works. It's fantastic. And it wasn't even my idea. This is Billy J that had this one right here. So I give him full kudos on this one. We'll go in and buy a big bottle of Pedialyte. Pedialyte. The stuff that you give your kids when they're sick, when you were really young, to rehydrate them. And I tell you what, we'll split a bottle. It tastes awful. But when you drink it 30 minutes after you're done, my goodness, you feel like a new person. It's amazing. So I'm not saying pack that and take it with you, but if you ever get in that deal to where you're feeling it, you're fatigued and all that type of stuff, if you pull in, just try to remember that. Write that down on like a little scratch note or something like that. Get a bottle of Pedialyte and drink it. I'm telling you, trust me, you will thank yourself, because it really does work. But that's the kicker. The other thing is people go up into the mountains and they go riding around, and a lot of people don't realize that mountainous and altitude levels, when you go up, you think because it's cooler and things like that, oh, it's not a big deal, Hate to break the news to you. When you go up in altitude, your body's working literally twice as hard. You're burning more calories. And not only that, it's just like being in the desert. It's super, super dry. And that moisture from your body gets evaporated very, very quickly. And it's the same concept. But even when you're up in altitude, you really almost have to drink more than you do than when you're in the desert, because your body's working so hard, because you're up at a higher altitude. You're breathing a little bit harder. You don't notice it because you're just going through the motions. But trust me, it happens. That's just the way it is. So key to the story is just remember, when you're on your bike and lots of air is pushing around you and stuff like that, you're losing moisture very, very quickly, especially when it's warm out or hot out. Remember altitude. Also remember, like in low desert or high desert, even riding around home, you can get dehydrated pretty quickly. So, being hydrated before and while you're on your motorcycle is really, really, really key. I think it's just a super smart move. I live by it. All of my buddies that ride live by it. We always make sure that we're hydrated when we're riding. And heck, there's sometimes that we're playing catch up because we just can't get enough fluids in. It's just so hot out. We just can't catch up. But that's where that Pedialyte comes in. I'm telling you, it works. I'm not lying. It tastes awful, but it does work. It does work. You can drink a Gatorade, but I'm telling you, Pedialyte, trust me, it's much better than a Gatorade. It's much better than a Powerade or any of those drinks. One thing I would say when you're riding in hot weather, stay away from the power drinks. They kind of have not a very good effect on the body, like your Red Bulls and your amps and all that stuff, maybe in the morning as a coffee substitute or something like that. But during the heat of the day, I'm just telling you, bad idea. So anyway, jackets, same thing. If you can pack 2 jackets, that's great. Or just, remember where all your vents are, and just sometimes you just got to suck it up, but that's why they make summer jackets. They're mesh, let your body breathe. But remember, when you're letting your body breathe, you're still sweating. It's just basically getting evaporated from the wind from riding on your motorcycle. Because remember, you're going to be going 40, 50, 60, 70, heck, 80 miles an hour. Depends on where you're at and what you're doing. So stay hydrated and try to make sure that you keep armor on that body when you're traveling or if you're out riding around in hot summer. I know you don't want to, but it's just a great idea. Trust me, I'm bad too. I'm guilty. I don't try to hide from that. I don't sit there and try to act like, I'm better than everyone else. That is not who I am. I don't roll like that. I don't know everything, but you know what? I've got tons of subscribers and I got tons of people that make comments and do all that stuff on our YouTube channel and stuff. I mean, I learn stuff all the time, and I know a ton of stuff, and I know lots about motorcycles, and I know lots about adventure traveling, and I know lots about camping, and I know lots of that stuff. But the things that I don't know, I just make a phone call or I just make a post, and I can get some guys that have some fantastic information to fill in the gaps whenever I'm missing something. But like I said, don't forget Radio 690 ADV. Make sure you guys subscribe, push that button. If you can give us some feedback, if you're an Mac guy or something like that, or on your phone, on iTunes, that would help us out a lot. And don't forget our YouTube channel, youtube.com/690ADV. And remember, you can always hit us up at 690ADV@gmail.com. That's our deal. That's our email. You got any questions or anything like that? Any ideas for a podcast? Send that over too. I'd love to do a podcast on something that maybe, you got your brain wrapped around and you'd like to put it out there. It's not for you. It's for everyone else. So, I'd love to. So, don't forget, you can always do that. So, and don't forget like I said, our YouTube channel. Go check it out. We got lots and lots of videos. So anyway, you guys have a fantastic Sunday. Thanks for stopping in and spending a little time with me and listening to me and hearing me jab my jaw and all that good stuff. But don't forget hydration and armor safety in hot weather in the summer, because it's not much fun, but we still ride because we love it. And like I said, get out, find your adventure. It doesn't matter if you ride around the block or you ride to the grocery store or you go out and do 6 months on the road, man. Be safe out there. Have a great time. Thanks for popping in. I'm Joe, 690 ADV, 690 out.